Congratulations, everyone. 2 days is really such a treasure. Of course, Buddha sat 6 years. But how many people even will take 2 days to just sit down and reflect back on themselves and just try to pay attention now? Very hard to do in our life. But wonderful you come from near or far to do that. It's a real treasure. Our practice has 2 parts, meditation and wisdom. Meditation, we say, is a not moving mind, just now. But you all know that even just now, many things happening in our consciousness. Either it's sleeping or thinking. So we have to train ourselves. Now, when we were babies, we were completely just now. But as we grow, thinking starts appearing. And opinions. I like this, I don't like this. I want this, I don't want this. Then even worse, this is good, this is bad. And then we use that and make problems for ourselves and make problems for others. So meditation's a retraining ourselves. Buddha said, what is your best friend in life? Then he answered himself, a trained mind. What is your worst enemy in life? And he answered himself, an untrained mind. No matter what our karma is, if we can train ourselves to pay attention now and become clear now, then we can handle any situation. Situations appear because of our karma and conditions. If we see them clearly, then we can use them in a way that brings benefit. If we don't see them clearly, even if it's a good situation, problems will appear. We won't know how to use it well. So you come and practice. We practice just paying attention. Sitting or chanting or bowing or going over to the bathroom or having a free time or eating. Then slowly, we have the ability, we can develop a natural ability we have to pay attention just now. When you pay attention just now, slowly you begin to see how things actually work, not according to our idea. We also have to see how deeply inside we have ideas about good, bad, right, wrong. Plus, of course, even on a more basic level, I want, I don't want. In America, after about 6 years of Seung teaching there, he had encouraged his students who he met in 6 different cities to start Zen Centers, residential Zen Centers, and in some other cities to start Zen groups. And of course, our aim is to understand our true nature and help all beings make world peace. But quite quickly, the Zen Centers on the East Coast and the Zen Centers on the West Coast were fighting. So, of course, we asked Sahn, we all want to find our true nature, get enlightenment, help all beings, but we're already fighting with each other. Why? Then Seung said, in America, West Coast people have many opinions, but they don't hold them strongly. East Coast people have very few opinions, but they hold them very strongly. That's all. So interesting. No good, no bad. No, this is the right way to be. No, that is the right way to be. He saw us clearly, so he knew how to work with each group. Then, perhaps by telling us what we're like, reflecting to us what we're like, we might understand the other better and work together better. I remember one time, one of our monks who's about my age years ago, there was another monk, they weren't getting along. They were both Americans, but this was outside America. And one day he's telling me, that guy, he's such an asshole, and like this, and, he's talking like that. And then 2 days later he says, oh man, I'm going to Europe. This monk sent me an airplane ticket, and I'm going to go visit him, same guy. And my first thought is, what the hell's with you? But then I remembered, he's from California. So 2 days ago, he thought it was, and today, he thinks he's a good guy. It's pretty normal for California people. I'm East Coast, so I'm wondering like, what the hell's with you? But I remembered, so I thought, okay, that's great. That's what he's like, Actually, I can get along with him well, because I know that. So first we have to see ourselves, begin to understand ourselves. And the more we do, the more we're able to have compassion for others and also see them. I don't have to fix that. I don't have to control that. I can't even fix and control myself. And if you can, then understand it's not easy. And if you get some wisdom, then you can help. So first point is meditation. We have to put out effort. I heard in the sutras, the most often repeated word by Buddha was effort. You have to do something. Yeah, it's really simple. Functioning, if we realize our true nature, is really simple, but it's not easy. So we have to make an effort. And then it's just like water flowing. And sometimes, in some situations, we can function like that, and others we can't. So we apply don't know mind there, and practice, and keep going. So meditation's really the foundation of, and reflecting back on myself is the foundation of realizing what's a human being and being able to live and function in a way that is actually beneficial and satisfying, correctly satisfying, because you've tapped into what is the big meaning of my life. We didn't come by accident here. Our karma pulled us into our situations. If we become more clear, begin to understand our karma, then it doesn't control us. When time to die, we die. Time to go over to that far table. Okay, you go over to the far table, Time to get a big job. Okay, you get a big job and you try and do it. Any of those things. So, Sixth Patriarch attained without meditation because his daily life was already so pure and clear. Then he heard one teaching from Buddhism, don't attach to anything that arises in the mind, and he became clear. So we're making our life slowly more clear. So Seung once said, long time ago, people first got enlightened, then they practiced, then they understood. Nowadays, everybody wants to understand, maybe they practice, and who gets enlightenment? But even enlightenment, more important is what's enlightenment's correct job? How do you use moment to moment rather than be controlled by moment to moment? We always want to control the outside thing, other people or situations. But actually, the original source of our problems is me, inside me. It's not bad or good, it's just true. Everybody has that. So as we understand ourselves and true nature better, then we can handle what appears in more skillful ways and it will become more satisfying and beneficial. To me, it's no separation between satisfying and beneficial. It's like automatic if you're really trying sincerely to help. do something that helps everyone, it's also helping you and it's satisfying. And if you really practice, you'll lose this idea of me and you. Okay? So, what's a chanting meditation? You know, make sound. That's all. That's why it doesn't matter if you know what it means. You can read the translation, it can be encouraging, but it doesn't matter. I prefer that we chant in a language I don't know. Then it's really easy to pay attention to the sound. Mahabanya paramilta. Each sound, very clear. You know, your voice, just make the sound. Okay? That's first step. Then next, hear your voice, hear other people's voices. You know, you can hear my voice, but you can hear sort of in the distance the translator. That's your clear mind. But if you're very focused on something, you're not aware of what's going on around you. They did experiments. Actually, I had a girlfriend and her father did this kind of experiment in the 50s and 60s, where they put some electrodes in some cat's head, and then they put these cats in separate cages, and they became really hungry. And they had a metronome, you know, like you see on a piano sometimes, tick, 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 tick. And they could see that the brain of the cat was catching these signals, tick, 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 tick. Then they put a live mouse in a glass jar in each of the cages, and guess what? When the cats saw that, tick, tick disappeared from their brain. They were still hearing it, but their consciousness wasn't aware of it anymore because they were so focused on that. We're the same way. But you can train yourself, if you're centered, to catch anything that's important. You know, if you're, maybe you're a teenager and, well, no, teenager would be disturbed by a parent coming in the room. Maybe you're a little kid and your parent comes in the room and maybe no problem, you don't even wake up. But your clear mind's always on. Maybe a bad person comes in the room and you don't even know why, but you wake up. That's your clear mind functioning. So practice is so important, okay? Bowing, just bow. When you go down, breathe out. When you come up, breathe in. You know, it's like running. They say no runner wants to start running. And often the first 20 minutes are difficult. But then your body starts feeding that. And it's good. Musangsa told me many years ago, you must do 500 bows every day. So I did, and I was trying to find which time in the day worked. And the only thing I found really worked was get up 1 hour early. And I noticed after 200, it's like, yes, you know. In fact, at one point I was doing 700 bows a day, and I remember feeling as I walked around every day that I was like 1 foot off the ground. It's like touching the ground, boom, the ground sent this energy up into me, you know, to come up. It's just habit and training. If you have a lot of thinking when you're bowing, then chanting in your mind, you know, Kwan Boso, Kwan Boso, Kwan Boso, Kwan Boso. Or if you have a mantra, do the mantra. Just do that. That's how we train ourselves. Sitting time, be aware of your breath. You're going to be pretty aware of your body, especially when it bothers you. That's okay. Oh, my knee hurts. Okay? So accept the experience and then use your direction with your practice. And then one day you'll be sitting here and go, ooh, the floor's yellow. Before we had Musangsa, we did our 3-month international retreats at a very old temple on the other side of this mountain. Will they visit there, the Israelis, tomorrow? Shinonsa? Don't know?
No.
It's a cool old temple. It's 1,400 years old. I always like to say the toilet was also 1,400 years old. It was actually my favorite toilet in the world, but then the town rebuilt one with water and everything, and it's not even fun anymore, you know. But in any case, one thing that I would do during a retreat is after lunch, I'd go over to this very small hall, and I'd chant for an hour. And so I'd be about 2 meters, less than 2 meters, 1.5 meters in front of the tangwa, the painting. And I'd light the candles, you know, and I'd chant away, Kwan Boso, Kwan Boso. And it was hard sometimes and really great sometimes. And it was interesting because they didn't have a candle snuffer to put out the candle. And you're not supposed to blow out the candle. You know, there's a very practical reason, but they say something like, you'll burn the spirit that's flying around nearby. You know, all these things, it's like, don't eat pork. Yeah, I don't think God said that. Humans realized you're going to get sick because it's a warm part of the world and the pork turns bad. So, you know, you want to be sure people will believe it. So God said it. So the spirits might get burned if you blow it out. But there's a practical reason why which you'll understand in a moment. So it didn't have a candle snuffer. So I saw people go like this with their hand, make a little breeze. I don't know why burns the spirits, but this doesn't. But that's for a scholar of Buddhism to explain. Anyway, I'd go like that every day. And once in a while, I'd hit the candle, you know. So, okay, whatever. One day, after about 2 months, I'm there chanting, and I look at this painting, and it's splattered with wax all over the place. And I've been standing in front of it an hour a day for 2 months, and I never noticed that. That's why they tell you the spirits will get burned, because if you put out the candle that way or this way, sometimes you'll knock the wet wax onto the painting. But how many times you look at your kid after about 20 years and it's like, wow, my kid's like that. Or you look at yourself, it's like, whoa, that's interesting. But that's valuable. Seeing that's valuable. It's a treasure. So meditation, our teaching's so wonderful, it's so wide. When you're doing something, just do it. That means meditation's not just sitting or bowing or chanting. You know, it's washing the dishes. What are you doing when you wash the dishes? What are you thinking about? You know, my favorite is, you know, my husband's no good, my children are no good. I used to think, you know, the cook is no good, they're so messy, the temple abbot's no good, the Zen Master's full of shit. You know, things like that. You see yourself. But that's a waste of energy. This is your meditation room, the sink. Just do it. And then without thinking, you'll start becoming aware. Your eyes will work. Your hands' feelings will work. We have to retrain ourselves because we're so out of touch with just see, hear, smell, taste, touch. It's amazing. That's why in the next thing I talk about, Seung divided it up very carefully. So it's not, you know, everything becomes meditation. Talking to your kid, ooh, that's serious meditation, you know. So that's a treasure. And I think by doing retreats, we can get a little taste of how to do that. And then take it into our everyday lives. And then your everyday life sometimes will help your practice, and your practice will help your everyday life.